Welcome back to the channel, survivalists and slightly paranoid preppers. Today, we're talking about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention in survival scenarios. Staying clean when you have absolutely no soap. And before you click away thinking this doesn't apply to you, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked the expiration date on that dusty bar of soap in your emergency kit? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm going to show you how to test if old soap is still worth using, and more importantly, what to do when you've got nothing but dirt, determination, and a desperate need to not smell like a medieval peasant. Let's dive in. Before we get started, check out the link in the description to download our ebook. Check out our merch, brand new Christmas stock. Use the discount code YouTube. Link in the description. Now let's get back to the video. Quick disclaimer before we start. Everything I'm covering today is for genuine emergency situations, off-grid living, or wilderness survival. If you have access to modern soap and clean water, use them. This isn't some natural living trend video. This is what you do when things have gone seriously sideways. Alright, first things first. Let's talk about that ancient bar of soap you found in the back of your cabinet or in your bug-out bag. Maybe it's been there since 2015, maybe longer. You're not sure. It's cracked, it's dried out, and it looks like it's been through some things. But is it still usable? Here's the good news. Soap doesn't really expire in the traditional sense. The bad news, it can definitely degrade and become less effective. So let's test it. Grab that questionable soap bar and wet it under running water or dip it in a bowl. Now rub it between your hands vigorously for about 10 seconds. What you're looking for is lather. Good bubbly lather. If you're getting a nice foam going, congratulations, your soap still works. The surfactants that break down oils and trap dirt are still active. But here's where it gets interesting. If your soap barely lathers or just feels slimy without producing bubbles, you've got a problem. That soap has likely undergone something called rancidification, especially if it was made with natural oils. Rancid soap smells off, kind of like old crayons mixed with stale nuts, and it won't clean effectively. Here's a pro tip. If your old soap passes the lather test, try it on something greasy, like a plate with oil residue. Rub the soap on the grease and rinse. If the grease washes away cleanly, you're golden. If it just smears around, well, time to move on to plan B. And by the way, those little hotel soaps you've been hoarding, they're actually perfect for emergency kits because they're individually wrapped and protected from moisture and air. So maybe your klepto tendencies are actually survival skills. You're welcome. Now let's talk about what to do when you have zero soap. And I mean zero. You're in the wilderness, or the supply chain has completely collapsed. Or you're living out some dystopian scenario you definitely didn't prepare adequately for. Enter wood ash. Yes, the stuff left over from your campfire. This has been used for thousands of years as a cleaning agent, and it actually works remarkably well. Here's why. Wood ash contains potassium carbonate, which becomes lye when mixed with water. And lye is extremely alkaline, which means it breaks down fats and oils just like soap does. In fact, soap is literally made by combining lye with fats. So in a way, you're using one of soap's parent ingredients. But before you go rubbing campfire ash all over yourself, listen carefully. You need to use this stuff correctly, or you're going to have a bad time. First, make sure you're using ash from hardwood, not pine or other resinous woods. Pine ash contains tar and pitch that'll just make you stickier. You want ash from oak, maple, hickory, that kind of thing? And it needs to be completely cold. Obviously, I shouldn't have to say that, but here we are. Take a small handful of fine ash and add just enough water to make a paste. It should be about the consistency of toothpaste. Now, here's the critical part. Ash is abrasive and highly alkaline. Do not scrub this on your face or any sensitive areas. Use it on your hands, forearms, and for washing dishes or cooking gear. Rub the ash paste on your hands like you're washing with soap. Work it around for about 20 seconds, then rinse thoroughly with clean water, and I mean thoroughly. You want all that ash off because leaving it on your skin can cause irritation or even chemical burns with prolonged contact. For dishes, ash paste works incredibly well on grease, that cast iron pan that's been sitting over the fire all day. Ash will cut through that rendered fat like nobody's business. Just remember to rinse everything multiple times. One more thing, ash water, which is what you get when you soak ash in water and strain it, can be used as a general cleaning solution. Our ancestors used this to wash clothes and clean surfaces. Just don't drink it. Seriously, don't. Let's move on to another primitive but effective method, sand. Now, sand doesn't have the chemical cleaning power of soap or ash, but it excels at mechanical cleaning. Think of it as nature's scrub brush. The key here is choosing the right sand. You want fine sand, not coarse gravel that's going to scratch everything or rough up your skin. Beach sand works great if you're near the coast. Desert sand can work too, though you'll want to sift it first to remove any larger particles. Here's how you use it. Wet your hands, or the item you're cleaning, then take a small amount of sand and scrub. The sand particles physically dislodge dirt, dead skin cells, and food particles. It's purely mechanical action, which means it won't kill bacteria or remove oils as effectively as soap, but it will get you significantly cleaner than water alone. For your hands, use a light touch, you're not sanding furniture here, gentle circular motions for about 30 seconds, then rinse well. Your hands should feel noticeably cleaner, though they might be slightly rougher than usual. For dishes and cooking equipment, sand is fantastic. Got burnt food stuck to your pot? Sand and water will scrape it right off. Just be careful with non-stick surfaces, because you will absolutely destroy that coating. Here's a survival hack that's been used in arid regions for centuries. If water is extremely scarce, you can actually use dry sand alone to clean dishes. Pour sand into your pot, swirl it around to absorb the oils and scrape off residue, then dump it out. Repeat with fresh sand until the pot is relatively clean. It's not perfect, but when water is more valuable than gold, it's a viable option. Now we're getting into the really interesting stuff. There are actually plants that naturally produce soap-like compounds called saponins. These are your best friends in a no-soap emergency. The most famous is probably soapwort, also called bouncing bet. This plant has pink or white flowers and grows wild in many temperate regions. You crush the leaves and roots with water, and they produce a genuine lather. Medieval Europeans used this to wash delicate fabrics. It's gentler than ash, but still effective. Then there's yucca, which grows throughout the Americas. The roots of yucca plants contain high levels of saponins. You dig up a root, pound it to break down the fibers, mix it with water, and you've got yourself a foaming cleaning agent. Native Americans used this for everything from washing hair to cleaning clothes. Soap berries are another option. These are actual berries from certain trees that foam up when crushed with water. They're found in various parts of the world, and some cultures still use them today. Horse chestnuts, also called conkers, contain saponins too. Crush them up, soak them in water, and you get a soapy liquid. But, and this is important, horse chestnuts are toxic if ingested. So this is for external washing only. Hands, dishes, clothes, fine. But keep it away from your mouth and rinse thoroughly. The challenge with plant-based soap alternatives is that you need to correctly identify these plants, which requires knowledge and practice. This isn't something you can just wing in an emergency. If you're serious about survival skills, invest time now in learning to identify useful plants in your region. Take a foraging class, buy a field guide, because when you actually need this knowledge, Google won't be available. Also, do a skin patch test before using any plant material on your body. Crush a small amount, apply it to your inner forearm, and wait 15 minutes to see if you have a reaction. Nature is amazing, but it's also full of things that will make you itchy. Let's talk strategy. In most emergency situations, water is going to be your limiting factor, not cleaning agents. So you need to be smart about hygiene priorities. First priority, hands. Specifically, wash your hands after using the bathroom and before handling food. This is non-negotiable. This is what prevents dysentery, cholera, and all the other fun diseases that kill people in survival situations. Even if you can only spare a small amount of water and some sand or ash, clean your hands at these critical times. Second priority, cooking and eating equipment. Contaminated dishes spread illness fast. If water is limited, use sand to scrub dishes, then rinse with a minimal amount of water, or use the sand-only method I mentioned earlier. Third priority, body hygiene. And here's where you need to be practical. You don't need to wash your entire body every day. Focus on the areas that matter most: armpits, groin, and feet. These are where bacteria thrive and cause odor and potential infections. A sponge bath hitting just these areas uses far less water than trying to stay completely clean everywhere. For body washing with limited water, use the 2-container method. Fill one container with soapy water or your ash solution or whatever you're using. Wet a cloth, wring it out, and scrub your priority areas. Then use the second container with clean water and a fresh cloth to rinse. You can stay reasonably clean using less than a liter of water this way. And here's something most people don't think about. Air drying after washing is more hygienic than reusing a dirty towel. If you're in a survival situation, that towel is probably disgusting. Let the sun and air do the drying. Let's talk about what not to do, because I've seen some truly questionable advice floating around the internet. Mistake number 1, using straight lye or extremely alkaline solutions on your skin. Yes, ash works, but some people take it too far and try to make hardcore lye water for personal washing. Don't. You'll give yourself chemical burns. Save the strong stuff for laundry and surface cleaning only. Mistake number 2, neglecting to rinse properly. Whether you're using ash, sand, or plant saponins, you need to rinse thoroughly. Leftover ash is caustic. Leftover sand is abrasive. Residue from anything you're using as soap can cause irritation. Mistake number 3, using poisonous plants because you misidentified them. This should be obvious, but never use a plant for cleaning unless you are 100% certain of its identity. When in doubt, stick with ash or sand. Mistake number 4, ignoring that water temperature matters. Cold water doesn't dissolve oils and fats as effectively as warm water. If you can safely heat water, do it. Warm water with even crude cleaning agents works far better than cold water alone. And finally, mistake number 5, giving up on hygiene entirely. I get it. When you're exhausted, cold, and stressed, washing seems pointless. But maintaining basic hygiene prevents infections, boosts morale, and can literally be the difference between surviving and not surviving a prolonged emergency. So there you have it. How to stay clean when modern convenience has completely abandoned you. Test your old soap with the lather test. Use wood ash for serious grease-cutting power, sand for mechanical scrubbing, and if you know your plants, saponin-rich species can give you actual lather. But here's the real takeaway. Hygiene in survival situations isn't about comfort or aesthetics. It's about health. It's about not getting debilitating infections that could turn a manageable situation into a catastrophic one. Dysentery has killed more people throughout history than just about any other single cause, all because of poor hygiene. So whether you're prepping for emergencies, planning extended off-grid adventures, or just want to understand how humans survived before modern amenities, this knowledge matters. Practice these skills now while you have access to backup options. Try making ash soap at your next campfire. Identify soapwort or yucca in your area. Build the knowledge base before you need it. And hey, maybe keep a few extra bars of soap in your emergency kit. The real stuff, with expiration dates you've actually checked. Because while it's good to know these alternatives, modern soap is pretty fantastic. If you found this useful, hit that like button, subscribe for more practical survival content, and drop a comment letting me know what emergency skill you want covered next. Stay safe, stay clean, and remember, civilization is just 3 missed showers away from falling apart. I'll see you in the next one.